Hello again, YouTube. This is Prophet David Howard Jr. with a very important, very informative broadcast for you. If you've never watched any of my broadcasts in the past, you definitely want to watch this. Now, today I want to talk a little bit about the world in general. Mainly races, racism, religions, so on and so forth. But make sure you tune into this, and you want anybody else, you want to make sure that other people tune into this as well. And I would encourage people of all different backgrounds to tune in, because there's some things going on in our world today that you need to understand. You need to understand the systematic brainwashing tactics that's coming through the TV, through the computer. All the framing, all the brainwashing. You need to understand all the manipulations that's going on in this world today and where they come from. So without further ado, let's begin. The first scripture I want to go to when talking about this, I want to go to the Gospel of John, chapter 5, verse 44. The Gospel of John, chapter 5, verse 44 says this: "How can you believe when you receive glory from one another and do not seek the glory that is from the one and only God?" How can you believe when you receive glory from one another, but don't seek the glory that comes from the one and only God? Now, we finna keep it real on this, because in this world we live in, the white man tries to portray himself as God. Now, before I get started, I'm going to say this, and you need to rewind this. We're going to get this on tape for anybody that will try to twist up the things that I'm going to say in this broadcast. I don't hate any people. I don't have anything against any person. But the truth needs to be told. What's going on not only in this city, in this state of Wisconsin, but all around this country and all across the world. The truth needs to be told about this. How can you believe who seek glory from one another? That's why we got all these religions. That's how we got all these religions. That's how the Messiah's true appearance was changed. The Messiah was known as the Lion from the tribe of Judah. And we're going to go to those scriptures, and it says his hair was like pure wool, and his feet were like brass, the color of brass, the color of burnt brass. Now, that's the description of him in Daniel chapter 7, verse 9. That's the description of him in Revelation chapter 1, verse 14. So where do we get this Jesus Christ of Nazareth picture? Robert Powell, he did an excellent job on the movie, but that's not how he looked. He did not have that color skin. He did not have those color eyes. Now, this is a picture of the portrayal of the Messiah and Jesus of Nazareth. Now, I want you to understand, again, that his feet were like brass, the color of brass. His hair was like the color of wool. Okay, now, if this is true, right, then why do men that look like me, men that are called black, quote unquote, the only thing black on me is my hair, but we're called black. Why do men that are called black, every time we go in the store, every time we come into a room with people, large groups of people from opposite races, opposite skin tones, opposite hair textures, do we get treated like we getting ready to start some trouble? Or we getting ready to steal something, or we getting ready to shoot up the place, when if you pay attention to what's going on, what color is all these gunmen? First of all, let's keep it real. Most of these things, you need to watch the movie Wag the Dog. Because most of these little quote-unquote gun things are not even real. But the ones that are real, you show me. You show me one black man that had enough power to decide to go to war. You ain't going to be able to find too many, because it don't happen. Now, I'm not taking up for black people. I'm going to get on us too, because this is an expose on all races. Because we need to understand, like I just read that how can you believe except you seek the glory of the one and only God? But we seek glory from one another. So what happens? What happens when an Arab watches too much TV in the United States? When black men come in the store, he follow them around. He treat that woman like trash. Why? Because there is no Cosby shows no more. Even Bill Cosby himself is probably getting paid or somebody behind him going around talking down on black people. We have no examples. Or you want to talk about on Yahoo and all these different groups and all these different forums about how black people's on welfare, how black women have all these baby daddies and stuff, but when Tom Brady do it or when somebody else do it, Richard Sherman said a few words and got fined, I believe, and treated like trash. Everybody calling him a thug. How can you be a thug and you second in your class in high school, graduated with a 3.9 grade average? This is the world we live in. We get portrayed like this by this world, and why? Because there's racist white men. Now, we're going to get into them, good and bad. All of them, you can't say they like that. But most of them, you look in your heart. Look in your heart if you're one of the people watching this and going to call me a nigger. Because I've been called a nigger on my YouTube site. I've been called a nigger playing games online. You tell me if the system is fair. You tell me you want to talk about how black men is criminals, how they get locked up. When they make a mistake, is you going to feed them? Is you going to step up and pay their bills? You going to buy them a car to get around? You going to give them clothes? You going to give his kids clothes? If he get locked up, are you going to not hire him? Or are you going to give him a chance to change his way? No, because that's not how the world works. In this world, because black people are from the tribe of Judah and the devil who's behind it knows it, he keeps us down and uses us to keep one another down. Because we ain't loyal to each other. Then you got all these wars. Lying on TV, lying on the news. Because the true enemy is trying to gain control. Because see, this is all about the mark of the beast, one world government, one economic system. This ain't about white and black, all these guys doing these satanic rituals, killing black kids in Florida. That's about domination. That's about global domination. They're trying to divide the races of people. They're trying to keep us fighting amongst ourselves so we can't see that they're trying to decrease the population, that they're trying to control your religious beliefs. They psychologically project a lie that the church is controlling people. You show me one Christian right now today that's killing anybody that don't agree with him. And I used to be in Christianity. I'm just a person in the book. I believe in the Messiah. I don't believe his name was Jesus. I know he didn't have a pale colored skin. I know he didn't have hair. I know he didn't look like the depictions of him that we see everywhere, which is white supremacy. But I still believe in him because I know what he did in my life. And like the scripture says, you shall overcome by the blood of the Lamb, by the word of your testimony, and by not loving your life so much as to try to escape from death. Revelation 12 and 11. Those are the true enemy. The true enemy is Simjaza. True enemy is Azazel. They even changed his name to confuse people. They're going by Satan, was just a title for adversary. You got people walking around thinking they rebuking the devils when they're just saying Satan, not knowing that in hell you have marquis, you have dukes, you have presidents with legions of demons under them, not knowing nothing about demonology. If the Ku Klux Klan knew really the truth about this stuff, they wouldn't try to kill any black people. If those black people who don't like white people knew the truth about this, they wouldn't punch no white people. See, he said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. You don't know nothing. You're too busy focusing on sports teams, Olympics, politics, which if you really look behind the scenes of politics, you will see whether it's a Democratic president, Republican president, what's the end result? Jobs was lost, companies was closed, they still supporting the other countries more than their own. but we admire it. You ain't fooling me with no smile. That's not gonna work. You're gonna have to do more than smile and wave. I'm gonna look at what you do. I'm gonna look at what your agenda really is. You say you're a Christian. Okay, does what you do as a president reflect a Christian? Reflect the Messiah, his beliefs? Reflect the beliefs of his prophets? You saying you're a follower of his? What does he really think about the gay agenda? What does he think about that? Do he agree? Leviticus 18:22 says no. He don't agree with that. But every time we look, we hearing about this stuff, but then we hearing the little flip. Remember, the devil is the father of all lies. So we hearing the little flip about, Christians, they Bible thumpers, they force their beliefs down people's throat. When there's videos on YouTube right now with Hindus eating other people, Muslims beating people to death, hitting them in the back with sticks, that's already dead, that they already killed because they didn't agree with them. But Christians forcing their beliefs down people's throats. Oh, and by the way, when Eddie Long did what he did, which was wrong, and we're going to talk about him too, because that goes line hand in hand with there's no people good. There's none good. None good. Which brings me to my next scripture. Luke chapter 18. I'm getting sick of this nonsense going on. Nonsense. On the news, all you want to show is people that got shot. Black people that did this crime, did that crime. What about Bernie Madoff? What about Jeffrey Dahmer? What about the people from every group, every walk of life that's committing crimes? There's none good but God. There's none good but God. Look at this in Luke chapter 18. It says in verse 18, a ruler questioned him. It's talking about the Messiah. You know, the one that has the hair like wool, the feet like brass. Him. That's just talking about him. Change his name. Let me tell you something. Do some research. Take the name. Okay, remember, the languages that the Bible that we read from are translated and read from right to left. If you take the name Jesus Christ and every letter in the name Jesus Christ times 9, and you tell me what you get when you multiply them all, add them all together, you get 9, you get 666. That wasn't his name. He was the one. He's the one that paid the ultimate price. But they changed his name, changed his appearance to fit white supremacy. Now, it says a ruler questioned him, saying, good teacher, what shall I do to inherit eternal life? It says, and he said to him, why do you call me good? No one is good except God alone. No, white people, you're not the standard. Black people, you're not the standard. Latino, Indian, Arab, Middle Eastern, it don't matter what you are, we're not the standard. If you look in all of our races, you're going to have drug addicts, you're going to have homosexuals, you're going to have murderers, you're going to have thieves, you're going to have every sin A to Z in the book in every race. Nobody should get a free pass. Nobody should get overlooked. Nobody is in control. Why in the world do we live in a world where people fear the white man and act like his standard is the way to go? Act like his women are the only women that's beautiful. Oh, if a woman has hips, thighs, oh, she's fat. Get out of here with that, man. I'm so sick of hearing this nonsense, man. I'm tired of hearing this stuff, man. I've been hearing this stuff even before I ever became a preacher. And it's stupid. It's getting worse on TV. I can't even listen to sports radio. You got the little big-headed white dude that's basically anything with black people. He criticizes it all the way to the dirt. And then the black guy on there, because he don't want to be himself, he go along with it. Then you call into the show, and they don't want to hear no truth. You say anything true, you don't make the sound off line that they have or whatever. You say anything true, they don't even respond to it. Because the world, the radio, the television, and the internet is full of propaganda and nonsense leading you to the 666 mark of the beast. Whatever that is. See, they want to look like the problem solvers. They create the trouble. Then they step right in, they sneak right in, and they want to look like the problem solver. Creating natural disasters. Creating all of this stuff that we see. All of this. Oh, white people and black people getting along? Trayvon Martin. Oh, they starting to understand. Let's do it again. The secret people tipping around like punks. Keeping all the masses of us against each other and acting like, oh, the black man is the worst. And they turning all the other way. And this was crazy. This is another thing that's crazy. If you study the 12 tribes of Israel, right, you find Mexicans in there. You find different countries, Colombia, Guatemala. You find some of them in there too, right? But they've been programmed too to look at us like we don't know nothing. We ain't nothing. So you see them doing this, doing all that, joining them, the Roman beliefs, which are based on secret faith in Jupiter. They call Peter, whose name was Cephas, Peter because he's short. If you look at the statue, that was the statue long ago of Jupiter. So they call him Peter, which is short for Jupiter, which is the god that the Romans really believed in. And his name was Cephas. His name wasn't even Peter. So they say, okay, well, he founded our church. Jupiter founded your church. In fact, this is what's crazy about the religions of the world, too. And you can look up everything I'm saying. What, you gonna kill me because I'm telling the truth? That's a punk move. That's weak. Trying to kill somebody for telling the truth or trying to make a difference. Everybody that ever do anything significant for black people get killed. But then we get to hear all these brainwashed people in the world, all these crazy politicians and news people talking down on black people when everybody that tried to do something. Marcus Garvey was deported. Martin Luther King was murdered. Malcolm X was murdered. Medgar Evers was murdered. Everybody that ever tried to do anything to get us a fair peace. See, people like me, I just want a big enough piece. The pie is huge. Don't try to give me a little crumb. I want a big piece of that pie just like everybody else getting a big piece of that pie. My ancestors were slaves in this country. The women was raped in this country. Then you let these little people from other countries sneak in like this. And you do more for them than us. What's up with that? Then you want to talk about how we in jail and how we selling drugs and all this other stuff. When you causing it. Get out of here, man. Wake up, people. And know how the creator of the universe really thinks, really acts. He's not a racist. In fact, let's go see what one of his disciples, Cephas, not Peter, Cephas, had to say when he began to preach. In the book of Acts chapter 10, verse 34, it says, opening his mouth, Cephas said, I most certainly understand now that God is not one to show partiality. In some translations it says respect of persons. But in every nation, the man who fears him and does what is right is welcome with him. Now remember, his hair was like wool. This is wool. This is, if you look at on the screen, the horse. This is horsehair, which is not wool. Now you tell me who has hair similar to this. Look on the screen. Look at the pictures. Now, he said that he's not one to show partiality. Now let's go to Revelation chapter 7. He's not one to show partiality, but the truth needs to be told. People walking around here, they think of you. This is what they do. If a Hispanic sticks with his own, or a Chinese person stick with his own, or this person and that person stick with their own, it's pride. But when a black person decided he want to stick to his own, oh, he's militant. Oh, he's a racist. That's how the world is. But look what it said in Revelation chapter 7. Let me see, I'm going to chapter 7 verse, just give me time now. Okay, verse 9. It says, after these things, this is John the Revelator speaking. You know, one that was there. I'm going to listen to people that were around during the time. You know, more than I'm going to listen to these atheists and these crazy college professors today. And these crazy people. Look, if you don't want to believe, that's you. I believe. And I have evidence and even more reason to believe each day that I continue to walk in this faith that I walk in. I'm a believer. I don't have to be a Christian. I don't have to be a Muslim. I believe the scriptures because the scriptures come to pass. So I stick with the scriptures. Now, he said, now if you look at Revelation chapter 7 verse 9, it said, after this this is John speaking, look, and behold a great multitude which no one could count from every nation and all tribes and peoples and tongues standing before the throne and before the Lamb, clothed in white robes and palm branches in their hands. And they cried out with a loud voice, saying, salvation to our God who sits on the throne and to the Lamb. They was from all different groups. Now, Jeremiah chapter 17, verse 9 says, the heart is more deceitful than all else and is desperately sick. Who can understand it? I, the Most High, search the heart, and I test the mind, even to give to each man according to his ways. To the white man too. You may be sitting real good in this earth, but you gonna answer to your Creator, to the one who gave you that breath that you breathing right now. So you can try to kill every Marcus Garvey type that come up. You gonna answer for everybody that you kill. You could try to program yourself to believe that Lucifer is the truth. He's the way. He's the true God. You're going to answer to the true God. Regardless of what you do. Everything that you do, say, and think in this earth, you're going to give account of it one day. And I guarantee you that much. You're going to give account. I'm going to give account. You're going to give account. We all going to give account. Now it says, to give to each man according to his ways. Now I want to go into the races a little bit. I want to talk about some things that I observed, and as the Most High was showing me these things, it's not talking about everybody, remember, but collectively, consistently, we're talking on a consistent basis the things that I'm about to talk about. Let's start with black people. So I want to start with black people for those of you that would think that I'm just acting as if we don't do no wrong. That's a lie and couldn't be furthest from the truth. We do wrong too. That's the point. This is called an expose on all races of people and religions. Now, let's start with black people. We got this problem. We don't like to stick together. And I was in the store the other day and I was just amazed how, because I've been in this same store before. And I guess the foreign guy sold it to a black woman, right? When the foreign guy was in there, everybody was, hey, how you doing, brother? Hey, all this, all that. As soon as the black woman bought it, though, the same black people come in there. Oh, well, oh, no, I don't want this. This ain't cold. Oh, this, oh, that. Why? Because you're still in that slave mindset. You still, massa, he trying to escape. Slave mindset. You have to learn how to stick together. We at the bottom, the very bottom. We have to learn how to stick together, man. To buy from each other. To support one another. Pray for each other. You pray for people in general. But black people need to stop trying to run. You running trying to marry them. You quick to forget. Your ancestors had to keep their mouth shut for you to be born. Or they would have been killed. You quick to forget all of that. The celebrities, these black actors putting on these dresses, portraying themselves as thugs for money, making it hard for all the rest of us to gain employment, making it hard for all the rest of us to go in the store without being mistreated because you don't know how to turn a road out. You don't know how to start a business. You don't know how to make your couple movies and move on and do your own thing and help other black people. You so programmed. Now you got black women that basically shrinking their lips, throwing up so they can lose weight, all kind of stuff. What? Let's continue. We are often jealous of one another, and like I said, quick to forget how our ancestors were bullied and had to take it for us to be born. Many were hung from trees, denied employment, stripped of their religious truths, forced to believe things that ain't even true, just to stay alive. And you, in your mind, in your heart, this is what you saying inside. That white woman is better than these black women. Black women ghetto. I don't want no black woman. I want a white woman. That's the best of the best. That's what your little Sambo Uncle Tom self is saying in your mind. Just like Sambo beating Uncle Tom to death because he wouldn't tell him where the slaves that ran away went in the movie Uncle Tom's Cabin. Like I said, many were stripped of their religious truth by other tribes even. Like I say, this ain't just start. We got in this country because other Africans sold our ancestors into slavery. Now, by other tribes and the European, you call yourself the white man, but as I say before, the robes that we gonna wear in heaven, they white. Those is white. The skin of the person who calls himself white is more of a peach color. And I'm not, you can say, oh, he racist. No, that's just the truth. Look at the color peach and look at the color of the person in this country that we call white. Look at his skin. It's more of a peach color. The robes are white. That's a psychological thing right there. Now, the white man gave the Indian reparations, who he barely did anything to, but continues to this day to attempt to strip black men of their manhood. If you look, all these guys dressing in drag. The Bible condemns men wearing women's clothes. But again, here we go, white man. Oh, he's God. He's God. So forget what the Bible say. What does this white producer want me to do? Here, give me my money. Degrading yourself. Do a good role, take your money, and start some businesses. Instead of being a little punk, doing everything they want you to do. He said, oh, you got yourself a preacher who used the word punk. Look up the definition in the Bible, or not in the Bible, but look up the definition in the dictionary. Look it up. Now it says, this is the stuff I was just writing, because like a lot of time when I communicate with the Most High, I just write. I just write and just, because I can't keep up. Because he see everything that's going on. Now watch this. Stripping them of their manhood, denying them employment, incarcerating them, and not offering any programs or resources to rehabilitate them. Going to jails. Going to DT, the detention centers for kids. And you ain't going to find too many books or resources that will rehabilitate. You ain't going to find programs. See, all that money that he just gave Jordan, the country Jordan, he could have used that to make his country better. To make the kids that's in and out of prison, to give them rehabilitation program, to create businesses that create jobs. But no, they're not going to do that. They just want to smile. Want you to vote for them so they can feel special while they help other countries and push global agendas. That's what they want. Like I said, celebrities turn their backs on the rest of us. Black celebrities turn their back. I don't need your help. I know what I got to do, but there's people out there that could use your help and mine. Now it says, this is what I wrote down. Celebrities turn their backs on the rest of us, making us look even worse. with the roles that they take for financial gain. Then the average white man, Chinese man, Arab, and everybody else stereotypes blacks as if we are the only ones that's doing wrong. Why do they do it? Because they don't see no black man living his life the way he's supposed to live it. You don't see too many roles where the black man is educated and spiritual at the same time. You're going to see roles with silly dudes like Kevin Hart. And I ain't going to sit up here and lie and say that nothing that he says, none of the faces that he makes is funny. But I'm just saying, for example, where are the role models that will make them take us serious? Ain't none. Because they control the networks. They control everything. That's why judgment is coming. Remember Sodom and Gomorrah. And like I heard somebody say, if the Most High don't judge this world for what's going on right now, he would have to apologize to the world in the days of Sodom and Gomorrah. They stereotype blacks as if we are the only ones to do wrong. They act as if we are the only race with deadbeat dads. The only race with homosexuals. The only race with crackheads. They magnify the fact that the crack is hitting the streets in our neighborhoods. People get the pass, turn to drugs, keep the drugs out. The government, the ones putting it in there. They can stop it. They got everything they need to stop it. But why don't they stop it? You're brainwashed, kid. You're brainwashed, old man. You think that the government is for you. The government, the United States government, is basically doing things to make matters worse. Sneaking around doing it. Now, they magnify the bad that we do and turn a blind eye to the wrongs of other groups. Look at Jeffrey Dahmer, for example. He eating biceps, biting biceps and stuff, killing people. Look at Ted Bundy. What color was he? Pol Pot. What color was he? All these different examples. Joseph Stalin. What color was he? But when black people do it, we do anything binoculars, magnifying glass. And remember, we got our share of issues too. Stop breaking in people's house. Stop robbing people on the street. Don't resort to desperation, desperate moves. The rest of us need to help people who need help and hope that they'll listen to us and stop doing that stuff. Because when you robbing people on the street, whatever you get, you deserve. Because when I was low in money at times, I didn't rob people on the street. I didn't resort to those type of things. Many other people did. Watching people, and we got this burglary problem here in Milwaukee, where people sitting around watching you, looking at your box. You can't even take out the garbage no more. For people, and I'm talking about black people right now, who watching our garbage. Oh, they just bought a flat screen TV. Or putting a little crowbar at the top of your window trying to get in your car just so they could joyride. I know what these kids is doing. Some of these kids don't need to do that stuff, but this is the culture. The thug culture. They don't have no examples. All the people they put on TV is rappers. They don't have no other examples. Because it's a program. It's the cowardly little dwarf of a man who controls most things. Won't put no good examples of black people on TV. And then, they're all on welfare. They be on not Yahoo. They're all on welfare. He's a thug. Have you ever met Richard Sherman? No, I never met him. But he's a thug because he has dreadlocks. He has dirty dreadlocks. Have you ever smelt his dreadlocks? Oh, well, no. Shut up, man. How do people have an opinion? People was at work calling this man a thug. Never even seen him in person in their life. That's why I was glad when he won that Super Bowl. This stuff is pure foolishness that's going on. You letting the TV, the radio, the white man, all the ignorant people in the world who control almost everything. They don't let no decent person control anything. Dictate what you think in your mind. How old are you? 20? 40, 50? Can't you think for yourself? Can't you draw your own conclusions? That's what he meant by that scripture that I first went to in John 5 and 44. You seeking glory from one another. Now, I want to finish this up in about 10 minutes. So I got a lot that I just want to kind of get to. Many blacks run to the white man and others for jobs and do not get them and act picky toward other black businesses. When Hmongs, Latinos, Chinese stick to their own, like I said, it's pride. And like I said, when the black man try to do it, he militant. But most of us just want to sit around and talk. Those of us that know about this stuff, we just want to talk a good game. But when it come down to it, where you getting your car fixed? Where you buying that food from? Where you getting that toilet fixed? Do you buy from other black people, black man? Do you value the black woman? Like I was talking to some kids and I told them, I said, man, you been taught to look down on black girl. If she ain't no good, just don't deal with her. Find one that is. But don't be trying to treat these other girls from other races like they better than black girls. Girls is girls. You're going to have sluts, you're going to have virgins, you're going to have sassy, you're going to have this, you're going to have that. If they human, they going to have some of the same characteristics as girls from all the other races. All the other races. Ain't no standard of beauty, all this stuff. The most beautiful woman in the world. And she always white. As if they done traveled every corner. Went in every house and saw how beautiful the women is. Or they do it with men now too. The most sexy man in the world. It's white supremacy. And guess what, white man? You ain't supreme. You just got the military might. But the day is coming where everybody in this world gonna see that the real mighty one is the creator who made us all here. Who got us all here now. Those of us who are not married outside of our race, I'm just going to say this. If you get married, especially if you're wealthy, just try to find somebody in your own. If you can't, if you just date all groups of people and the best one for you, the best one, the most fitting one, without all, you love yourself, you appreciate yourself, you appreciate your black upbringing, and you just so happen to end up with somebody else, I don't see a problem with it like that, because it happens. People's people. But if you a little Uncle Tom Sambo, and in your heart you purposely looking for that as if it's something good, you whack, man. I'm just gonna tell the truth, man. When I preach, I tell the truth. What you see is what you get. And people like that is the reason why we at the bottom. And it ain't even a contest. Black people is at the bottom and ain't even competing. Mainly because people like that, people you call leaders, is secretly put in place to keep you quiet, keep you tame. They ain't create no, they just talk. I don't need to hear your speeches. I need to see what you can do. Now, someone who's in this struggle with you, a black woman to get called a nigger just as quick as I would. Get treated like that just as quick as me. I need somebody to know what it's like to live in this country. To this day, it just ain't improved. And like Garvey said, be black, think black, buy black. You don't have to be racist because you go to Jackson State or Grambling State. That don't make you a racist. Now, like I said, support one another. You voted for Obama, so what? But guess what? He ain't doing nothing for us. That's just a fact. Now you could chase me down and try to do this, try to do that, try to slander me, throw me through the mud. But at the end of the day, in all this time he been in there, show me some things that he done did to make things better economically or spiritually or anything else. All I see is supporting other countries, pushing gay agendas. That's what I see. Now, let's the time we got left, we got a couple more minutes left. I just want to kind of get into some things about white people in general and the stuff that they do. I can't leave them out I can't leave them out. Because you got to understand, the KKK is a secret society. It's a secret society. And some people involved in it, they don't actually know what they're involved in. They don't actually know what's really going on behind the scenes. They just broke brainwashed like a lot of other people. So, white people, what do? They try to be in control of everything. They control the network. So what do we see? We see them portrayed as beauty. They control even the toys. What do you see? You don't see black baby dolls no more. You see white dolls. They even made the Messiah white. But the fact of the matter is that they ain't no better than nobody else. It's just more of them. They done did a very clever workings to make themselves supreme in this world. They make themselves supreme in this world. But here's the thing. The Creator is the one that's supreme. The one that gave us this breath in our body, He's supreme. All these little store owners, Sikhs, Arabs, basically they fight to put their stores in our neighborhoods, right? But then they don't live by us. We don't know where they live. They live far out somewhere. They live around all white people, but don't. Some of them will put, every now and then you'll see a store in a white area. But they target black area. We can't even get businesses in our own neighborhoods because they got them all. Them and the Chinese. But the Chinese, they ain't gonna even let you sell a beauty product. You don't believe me? Call one of them countries. Tell them you trying to sell some weave or something. And let's see if you get it. But we keep buying from them, can't line out the door in their businesses. Lying out the door, but can't get a job. Maybe 2 or 3 of us just lucky enough. But we see all these businesses, all these foreigners coming over here in this country and doing better than the people that was born in this country. And don't care about this country, sending the money back to their own country. And ain't no laws, no checks and balances put in place to stop it. Politicians just like that. Lobbyists running the country. Corporations running the country. Secret societies running the country. And they just like that. Just waving. If I see you wave, I'm going to turn the other way like this. So I can't pay no attention to it because it's pure nonsense. He said no one is good except God. Every man is going to be judged by the same standard from the same God. Black man is evil. White man is evil. Arabs, Chinese, monks, anything you name, we all evil. There's nothing good but God. Evil, evil, evil. Everybody has to be taught righteousness. Have to have righteousness put in them. He has to give us a new spiritual heart, new spiritual mind for us to even think righteous. Why? Because we are evil. Jeremiah 17:9 says the heart is sick and wicked and desperately wicked. Who can know it? He the only one that can even understand the human heart. It's that bad. There's none good. So make things more equal. But cowards ain't going to make things equal. It's going to always be a seesaw, imbalance. You was born into this family, so you rich. Everybody else, don't worry about everybody else. They poor. They don't got it like us. We're the descendants of Jesus Christ himself. Get out of here with that. This is the world we live in. There's none good. Not one. Christians are evil. Muslims are evil. All these religions are filled with paganism and satanic wickedness and witchcraft. And the only thing that's true is the God that's in here. Not the religions that were created by man, but the God that was in here. He'll show you what's true. If you read Matthew chapter 16, that's what he was trying to get his disciples to understand. That only what the Most High himself revealed to you will save you. And that's where he'll build his church, and the gates of hell will not prevail against. Not man. He was showing them flesh and blood can't even go to heaven. So I'm going to close with that, and we may talk about this a little later because I had a lot of more things that I want to cover. And I'm running out of time. So This was an expose on all religions and races. Remember, men are evil.